Toastmasters promise will be displayed on the screen shortly. Please, we can all stand up and take the Toastmasters promise together. Please just give us 1 second and it's going to be up now. A few seconds, thank you. 1 second. So we can, some of us can say it off heart, but for the new members who might not be able to do that, thank you very much, our dear president. Please let's go 1, 2, go. As a member of Toastmasters International, my club, I promise
to attend club meetings regularly,
to prepare for
all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluation.
Necessary for all members to learn and grow. To serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so. Treat fellow members and our guests with respect and courtesy. To bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers. To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs. To act within the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters. So we have promised. Please put your hands together for yourselves as you take your seats. Thank you very much. 2 final things before I step out. Our virtual audience, when you are not speaking, it is important that you have your microphones on mute so we don't get the noises from the audience in the room. Thank you very much. And the final one is for us to clap our hands and encourage every speaker who comes out here to speak. Please, let's just practice. Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you. At Toastmasters, we clap our hands a lot. Now, to move this meeting forward, I'll be handing control to our president. He's an actuarial analyst and an insurance product development expert who is passionate about advancing universal health coverage and deepening insurance penetration in Nigeria. He brings a strong blend of technical expertise and a strategic insight to designing impactful insurance solutions. He is a dedicated communicator and leader, and he is a Triple Crown Toastmasters Award winner. He is currently our president, and he was the past program quality director of Area 11. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please put our hands together as we receive our president, Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo.
Thank you very much. When I was coming at first, some of you didn't want to clap. But I don't know what changed your mind. But I thank you, and I thank anything that might have changed your mind. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome back to Seaside Toastmasters, because I can see, except there, I think every other person here is a returning Toastmaster or guest. So thank you very much. Here at Seaside Toastmasters, we, as the Side Account has rightly said, we hold our meetings on the first and second Saturdays of the month. For this month, we decided that we are going to hold our meeting today. not because it's the weekend of the president's birthday, but because we had several events, the Easter holiday, and because of that, we are holding our meeting today. Anyways, you are welcome. The theme for today's meeting is Bloom Anyway. Some weeks ago, I was talking to a prospect who wanted to join Toastmasters. And she said, my issue with joining Toastmasters is, you see Toastmasters come on the stage and say, when I started, I was not this confident. But it's a lie. It looks like everyone is good. I said, you may think so. But the fact is that we didn't all start this way. I know how I started. And even if I don't know how everyone started, I know how some of us started. How Toastmaster Ime started. How Toastmaster Grant started. And we've seen the journey. And that is why we understand that some flowers bloom late. Some bloom early. But it does not mean that the ones that bloom late will be less beautiful. They will be equally beautiful. So in your journey, if you think you are not moving, if you think this thing is not just happening, I want you to look at it and tell yourself that even though your flower might bloom late, it will be beautiful. So let's keep grinding. Let's keep shining. Let's keep speaking. Let's keep turning up like Toastmaster here. Because we will all be beautiful in the end. I love talking and I love staying here on LinkedIn. But I know if I stay here for the next 2 hours, you'll be bored of listening to me. And that's why Toastmasters meeting is organized. We have someone who we call the Toastmaster of the day, who is going to take us to today's meeting. And our Toastmaster of the day is someone who you've already seen, who you've already heard from. He's a sales and marketing professional and a sports and fitness enthusiast. He enjoys spending quiet time in nature and loves playing the game of chess in his leisure time. He once promised us that he's going to give us a seaside chess tournament, but we are still waiting for it. Maybe because all of us don't know how to play chess, he's the only one. Please let's give a round of applause to our Vice President of Education, who will be playing the role of the Toastmaster of the day today, Toastmaster Ugona Anyanwu. Please let's clap for our Toastmaster of the day.
Good afternoon once again, Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon. Welcome to our special meeting, Bloom Anyway. I'm excited because this is a season where, for those of us who travel, you will know it's just past winter and it's spring, where the flowers, the fields are coming up to life again. And even here, it's the time when we have just left the toddy dry season and we are seeing the rain once again. The flowers are springing up, the grasses are becoming green once again. And we are saying it's a special April meeting where we bloom anyway. And it's also a very important time for us to reflect. For some of us, we have gone through our dry season and we are thinking of how can we bloom. It's a reminder that we can still bloom anyway. To move this meeting forward, it's a very important person. My role as the Toastmaster of the day is not just to stay here and talk for the next 2 hours, but it's very simple, to guide us through the agenda, which I am sure all of us have, and introduce each speaker as they come. In a conventional event, we usually call the person the master of ceremony, the MC or the host. But for Toastmasters, we call them the Toastmaster of the day. In Toastmasters, our meetings are designed to have three major segments. The first is the prepared speech segment, where members go through the pathway programs which we have for members only, and they come back prepared and they come here to deliver a speech. At the end of the speech, they will be given evaluations on how they can improve. The second one is table topics. Table topics is open for everybody, both members and guests, to come and express themselves and practice how to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And the third segment, which is very critical, is the evaluation segment. That segment shows us how far we have gone and how we can improve to become better speakers in our journey. And to lead that very important segment is someone we refer to as the general evaluator. A general evaluator for today is an active member of Eagles Toastmasters Club, where he served both as the past president of Eagles and he was also the past Area 17 director. With a strong background in leadership and service, he contributes significantly to the growth of his club. Outside of his professional and leadership roles, he enjoys watching football. He prefers to follow the game as a passionate spectator rather than playing the game himself. And he spends his leisure time listening to podcasts focused on finance and money. Dear Toastmasters and guests, with a resounding round of applause, please let's make welcome our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Yusuf Apeno.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Jolly good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Are you excited to be here? Yeah. And good afternoon to our online participants as well. I can see that the number has swollen up very well. Well done. So my role as the Toastmaster of the Day rightly mentioned is to be the chief evaluator for today's meeting. There is a popular saying that whatever is not evaluated can never be improved. And unexamined life is not worth living. So in that light, I will lead the team of evaluators. Our job is not to judge you, but to be partners in progress. So we'll sit right in the audience to observe every segment of today's meeting. And before the end of today's meeting, we'll also come back. So my job is to lead that team who will be doing just that in evaluating, observing every segment of today's meeting. On my team, I've got a number of qualified, experienced Toastmasters who are going to come up here to also introduce their role. And I would like to call the first person who is going to be the timer of today's meeting. The timer of today's meeting is a 400 level computer science student at the University of Lagos. He is currently building his skills in copywriting with a strong focus in persuasive communication. I want to presume that he is also on persuasive pathways. Persuasive communication means how words influence how people think and act. He enjoys breaking down ideas in a way that makes sense, in a way that makes them easy to understand, and believe that clarity matters as much as knowledge. Wow. That is what led him to Toastmaster, where he's working to become a more confident and intentional speaker. Outside of academics, he is committed to self-development and enjoys running, which helps him stay consistent and mentally focused. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, bring to the lectern the timer of today's meeting, Toastmaster Olabode Emmanuel Olamide.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. For today's meeting, I'll be playing the role of the timer. The role of the timer is simple. For those who aren't aware, the role of the timer is to ensure every speaker keeps the time and remains time conscious while speaking. We have all heard that time is money. However, time is infinitely more valuable than money. As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluation. I would also alert each of the speakers of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and the red card, which denotes specific time remaining. Table topic speakers has no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Speeches like the prepared speeches ranges from 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. Individual evaluations has between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you very much. Now I hand over to the General Evaluator.
Time, they say, is the currency of life. But we say at Toastmaster, time is the currency of communication. So I would like to invite my second role player, who is the accountant for today's meeting. She is a chartered accountant with over 8 years of experience within the manufacturing and oil and gas sector. At the end of the year, when we are looking for chartered accountants to review the club activity, to audit the accounts, I mean, she's going to be a go-to person. I'm just telling the club in advance. She specializes in financial reporting, internal control, and audit. She also enjoys solving problems and working with numbers, especially finding smarter and more efficient ways to get things done. She is going to tell us how we can run this meeting with numbers when she comes here. She's passionate about personal growth and constantly challenges herself to step outside her comfort zone, which led her to joining Toastmasters Club. In her free time, she enjoys listening to music, solving puzzles, and learning new things. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the accountant for today's meeting, Toastmaster Wadisu Wagbo.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My role today is to role of our counter. The purpose of our counter is to note words and sounds used as pause filler or filler words by speakers. One way to improve fluency when speaking is to make use of pauses rather than filler words like ah. So during the meeting, I will listen for overused words and filler sounds, as well as instances where a speaker repeats a word or phrase like I. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. So that's my role for today. Thank you. I'll hand over to the postman.
She refuses to see this. All right, you've met the second member of my team, ladies and gentlemen. I will now proceed to introducing the grammarian of today's meeting. Do we have her in the room now? All right, thank you. So the grammarian who is going to tell us about grammar rules and focuses on the word of the day is none other than Toastmaster Damilola Lawa, who is a growth-driven business operation and marketing leader. We have a lot of industry leaders. If you are looking to tap into their wealth of experience, please, that is what Toastmaster gives you. Please take advantage of that. If you have been looking for an oil and gas contract, because you have some of them here representing that same industry. She has over 15 years of experience in driving growth and building impactful partnerships across diverse West African markets. She is passionate about developing strategies and converting them into measurable results. Beyond business, she enjoys mentoring, swimming, and telling stories that inspire change and authentic connections. She believes every great idea deserves a powerful voice, and she's here to use us. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the grammarian of the meeting, Toastmaster Damilola Lawa.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
So I'm the grammarian today, and my responsibility is to actively listen to all the speakers in the room. So I'm going to be listening to them, and I'll be taking notes of improper use of the English language. I'm also going to take notes of outstanding words, quotes, and thoughts from each speakers. I would also ensure that I introduce to you the word for today. And the word for today is flourish. What is flourish? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, flourish means to grow or to develop successfully. An example of the use of the word flourish is, if I work hard, I will flourish. So I'm going to encourage each speaker today to incorporate the use of the word for today, which is flourish. Please ensure you use this word, and I'll be looking out for how the word is used throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I'll be taking notes, and at some point of the meeting, I'll be called upon to share my reports, and I would also share the count of the use of the word for today, which is flourish. Thank you very much, and see you soon.
Wow, that was magnificently done. Ladies and gentlemen, you met my team. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this session, they are not judges, but they are going to work with you to flourish in your Toastmasters journey. Please ensure you work with us, relax, and enjoy today's meeting. But before the end of the session, we'll all be back here to give our evaluation. Until then, flourish. Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, my general evaluator. Please, let's put our hands together once again for him. Thank you for that. Dear Toastmasters and guests, remember I said that this is a period to bloom anyway, and it's our theme of today to bloom. But humans have something different from the flowers, the trees. The flowers, when the conditions are not good, they die. They don't have that freedom to move somewhere else or to try to go to a place where they can bloom. So they are stuck and they die. But we humans, we don't. So if we have any challenge that is stopping us from blooming, what do? We move, we thrive. And that is why a whole lot of us are here today, to change something within us. For some, it is to speak for the first time with power and to express their voice. And for some, it is to make new connections, because regardless of the situation, we will bloom anyway. And for people who will be making those journeys, they have prepared, they have gone through our program, and now they want to deliver their speech to us. And we are moving straight into the prepared speech segment. First is our first speaker for today. I will introduce our first speaker for today, who will mesmerize us with his speech. But before he comes up to give his speech, I would like to call on his evaluator to tell us the purpose of his project and his speech. The evaluator of the first speaker is a founder and a self-care coach. She is a nature lover who is also a travel enthusiast, a creative director, and she loves aesthetics, and she is an artistic person. Her favorite quotes are, "Life meets you at your level of audacity," and "Self-care is self-love." Please, dear Toastmasters and guests, let's make welcome with a resounding hand of applause the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Ikwo SN. Toastmaster Ikwo.
Good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I hope you can all hear me. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, my role today as an evaluator, as the Toastmasters of the day, or the general evaluator just said that I am not a judge, but I am here to look to evaluate the speech and also give my 1 cent on areas of improvement. And I look forward to listening and learning from our speaker, who has a very interesting title. Thank you very much. And I'll be back here after the speech to give my evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ikwo, who will be evaluating our next speaker, our very first speaker for today. Our first speaker is speaking from the Pathways Engaging Humor, which is he's also on level 1, project 2. For our guests or those who don't understand, this is his second speech in Toastmasters. The title of his speech is "The Link Between Poverty and Crime in Our Communities." The link between poverty and crime in our communities. And he will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Who is this person? Our first speaker is a real estate investor. He is a voice actor and a persuasive copywriter who helps businesses stand out, attract, and retain customers by clearly communicating their value. He's a born storyteller who is committed to making financial literacy common in the creative industry. He believes that creativity and wealth should go together. His mantra is free together. He's in a journey towards confident communication which he began when he learned to embrace his own voice and ideas. And today, he speaks with authenticity and presence. He is closing real estate deals or crafting brand stories, and he's likely out exploring new places whenever you see him. Dear Toastmasters and guests, this speaker who is speaking from Pathways Engaging Humor, Toastmaster Austin will say. Please, let's put our hands together for him.
Imagine walking down a busy street in your neighborhood. Suddenly, you hear shouting, "Thief! Thief! Thief!" People are running. In the middle of the crowd, a young man is on the ground, and within seconds, justice is served. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and amazing guests. What I just described is a common case of jungle justice. Apart from stories, has any one of you here experienced it live? I want someone to answer. Anyways, in every jungle justice, there are basically three kinds of people. Those who come to the rescue, those who immediately recruit themselves in the mob, and those who just stand there waiting to tell the story. In this situation, in any of the instances, who you are depends on something deeper. Some people see crime as a personal failure. A bad person making a bad decision. But today, I'd like to suggest to you that crime is not just an action. I see it more like a fruit. And just like every other fruit, it grows from a tree. That tree, gentlemen and ladies, is poverty. Let's talk about three ways through which these trees grow in our communities. First, the struggle for survival. Imagine a young man who has spent years searching for work without success, and at home, his younger siblings are waiting for him for food. For many of us, stealing may not cross our minds, but for somebody like this who is already pushed to the edge, the line between right and wrong can begin to blur. Before I proceed, I'd like to make a very important disclaimer. Poverty is not an excuse for crime. All I'm saying is, it often explains the reason behind the pressure. It explains the pressure behind the crime. Poverty is just at the level in which human eyes cannot see. Now, let's go to the second point, the environment. As human beings, we learn from what we see repeatedly. So imagine a child growing up in an environment where the only people who drive nice cars are criminals. Eventually, such a child, what do you think they will copy? You have the answer. I'm being tempted at this point to give specific instances, but the rushing tap of my time has emptied the tank. However, I'd like to direct your attention to how internet fraud has become normalized in our communities. This is a strong point to let you understand that what we see often, we copy. And finally, a lack of opportunity. A child raised in communities with quality education and a high employment rate, for instance, is less likely to consider crime. Think about the young graduates I mentioned earlier. If he continues or if he continually sees how public funds are being diverted to personal use on the news almost daily, he is likely to feel the system has already failed him. If you are in this shoe and all your peers are making it illegitimately, I ask you, what do you think would appear rewarding to you? Once again, I want to be clear. Crime can also involve personal choices. Of course, we have heard cases of two people going through the same hardship, but they chose different paths. However, if we truly want safer communities, we must look beyond the fruit and examine the root. Now, the next time you hear the word crime, I want you to remember a very big tree. Keep your eye on it, down to its roots. Then think creatively how we can all stop it from growing bigger. And I promise you, jungle justice will become a thing of the past, and we will all flourish. Thank you.
Please, let's keep clapping for him. Let's put our hands together. And the virtual audience, please use the emojis and let's celebrate Toastmaster Austin. Thank you very much for that. Whenever you think about crime in the society, it's important that you think about the root cause and not just the fruit of it. A very powerful speech by Toastmaster Austin. We'll segue quickly to our second speaker for today. But before I call on this speaker, I would like to call on the evaluator of this speaker to come tell us the purpose of this speech. The evaluator for our second speaker for today, she is a legal practitioner who is committed and a parent who is an active member of the Pectan Toastmasters Club. She enjoys traveling, cooking, and reading, and her guiding quote is, he who hesitates is lost. And that quote is from a play written by Carlo. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please let's make welcome Toastmaster Jibike Oshodi.
Thank you very much for inviting me to evaluate this speech. This speech is by Toastmaster Grant Oti. He's on the Persuasive Influence Speech, Level 1, Project 4. And the purpose of my speech is to evaluate him and actually suggest feedback. After this feedback, I'll be evaluating his second speech. I'm meant to look at how his speech is organized and his style of communication. Please enjoy his speech and encourage him as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you most kindly, Toastmaster Chibike. Our second speaker, Toastmaster Grant, as we have been told, he is an experienced business analyst who is working in the finance sector. He enjoys quiet time indoors and wandering. He has an interest in business and he is currently incubating an export business. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please let's make welcome to the stage Toastmaster Grant Oti.
There is nothing that says that I'm rich. Indeed, there's nothing that says that I would amass the level of wealth required for me to live out. Nonetheless, I want to be comfortable. In fact, I want to guarantee that I'm comfortable. So what do I do? There is a wise man, Charlie Munger, a now late American billionaire. He advises people to think in terms of mental models. And according to him, one of the best mental models to have is invest. Always. Based on his advice, instead of asking myself, what do I need to do to be rich, comfortable, I should instead ask myself, what can financially ruin me? Based on his advice, I've looked at people who have amassed a lot of wealth over time and went on to lose all or most of it. And based on my evaluation, apart from catastrophes or ruinous habits people develop, like getting very greedy, one of the most consistent ways that people lose their wealth is by allowing
expenses outpace income. There are two ways that people can accumulate wealth. One is to increase your income, the other is to reduce it. And what typically happens is that for most people, many people, once their income starts to grow, they tend to increase their expenses beyond what they start acquiring habits, expensive habits. In with income, there are a lot of factors outside, the external factors that impact the income. And so your income is or vanish. Expenses tend to stick. For somebody who is used to a certain lifestyle, telling them to reduce that lifestyle. And sometimes some of those expenses aren't even for you. And so expectations have been created. As a result, expenses don't reduce. And so I've come to the conclusion that I must do the one thing that is within my control, achieve my objective, and avoid financial ruin, which is avoid expensive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I still like many of the same things that I told you about. Private jets. But I might even celebrate you if you buy them. I might even enjoy them with you. But for my pocket, I will go in the shop. And I have a similar advice for expenses. When you make money, as much as it play.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster Grant. Please, let's put our hands together for him again. Let us learn to play for keeps. For some of us, the way they are going, I'm not sure they want to be staying in the game. They get vanished in 2-3 years, but he's encouraging us to play for the long game. Thank you for that very excellent one. And we'll move quickly to the next speaker. Our next speaker, before she comes up, I would like to invite her evaluator. Her evaluator is a corporate and commercial lawyer with a passion for public speaking, which she honed at Toastmasters since 2009. She was the vice president membership in the 2024 section and the secretary of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club. When she is not advising on commerce solutions, she is with family and friends, reading, writing, and speaking. And it's no other person but the elegant Toastmaster, Dara Lalehi.
So, Toastmaster Finn Toyo will be speaking on the Distinguished Toastmasters' first speech. The title of her speech is Paying It Forward. The purpose of the project is to demonstrate her skills as a leader and a public speaker. The purpose of this first Distinguished Toastmaster speech is for Toastmaster Finn Toyo soon to be distinguished Toastmaster Fee Toyo, to introduce her plan and vision. I wish her all the best, and I will hand over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, dear Toastmasters and guests. For some of us, we have been Toastmasters for 10, 15, 20 years, and we are still Toastmasters. But there is another level, distinguished Toastmaster. And this person has been on this journey, not yet there, but it is an audacious one. And she's giving her speech, her very first one from her distinguished Toastmasters program. Dear Toastmasters and guests, this speaker, Toastmaster Fee Toyo, is a brand management professional at Biesdorf, Nevier, and she currently serves as the Vice President Public Relations 1 at Eagles Toastmasters Club. She is on the motivational strategist pathway, and she believes strongly in the power of the mind, living by the quote, whatever the mind can conceive, believe it, and it can achieve. Fee loves traveling and cruising, and she has visited over 40 countries and counting. And she enjoys exploring new cultures and experiences around the world. Please make welcome to the stage Toastmaster Fee Toyo.
An old proverb says, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and esteemed guests, and to our online audience. Thank you for that response. Good afternoon. I'd like to share a little bit about my journey to getting here. In 2024, I got an appointment to become a director at a multinational. And one of the first reflections that I made was, what gaps do I need to fill to excel at this role? And one of them was my public speaking, my executive presence. And that's why I joined Toastmasters. That was all it was. I wanted to become a better public speaker. I wanted to own the room and command when I spoke. Simple. But Toastmasters has a serendipitous way of evolving the journey for you. As I started my journey, it transformed into what it is today. I've taken my 2 pathways and I'm now on the Distinguished Toastmasters project. And for the guests online or in the room, the Distinguished Toastmaster is the highest honor that any individual Toastmaster can attain. And you have to go through a number of steps to do this. Somewhere along the line, I discovered and reflected, after refusing multiple times with the GE, about not wanting to pursue this, but I eventually decided I would do this. And the lead up to my project in itself has also been quite interesting and filled with serendipity. And I'll explain why. It started when I was nominated to take part at a work training. This was a training that was heavily invested in by the business. And I've shared this story multiple times and in different ways. But what I got out of the training was how important public speaking is. And so when I left, all I kept on thinking about was, how can I make others flourish at public speaking? How can more organizations be aware of Toastmasters? It should no longer be a secret. Does anybody agree? Yes. We need to spread this Toastmasters gospel worldwide. And that's what I want to do. Simply put, pay it forward. And that began my journey to this Distinguished Toastmasters project. I will summarize it in just 3 steps, easily remembered by the acronym PAY. P-A-Y. P is the purpose. What do I want to do? All I want to achieve is work with a few organizations to help their employees flourish at public speaking, communication, and executive presence. How will I achieve this, which is the A? Very simple. And I've already started. In the Distinguished Toastmasters project, you are required to plan, and you have an advisory council. Then you are required to implement, get feedback, and then reflect. And as part of my plan, what I'd like to do is identify an organization, which I have already done. And it's in a couple of steps. The first step is a sensitization meeting, which I conducted last month with the help of the division director, the club growth director, and some other distinguished Toastmasters. And so we went to the organization to present to them all about Toastmasters and told them what they stand to gain. The next step in this journey is a club experience meeting for the organization, which is almost what you can call a demo meeting or a taste of Toastmasters. And the idea behind this is to create a meeting just for the organization with experienced Toastmasters so they can see what a Toastmasters meeting is like. I've also invited the managing director into my club meeting for him to experience this on his own. This is what convinced him that he wants to go on the pathway. And after the demo meeting, the next step is a speech craft. Why a speech craft? Speech craft is another way we can get non-Toastmasters to experience Toastmasters through a series of 4, 6, or 8 sessions where they can learn and practice. So the idea is use the speech craft as a funnel to get their employees into the Toastmasters experience. And then last but not least is to create a corporate club. And that is where the sustainability is. My last point is the why, which is the yield. What will this yield us? 1, the company is going to pay for the speech crafts. So this will generate revenue for the division. I'm not doing this at club level. I'm working with the division so that the entire Southern Nigeria can benefit from this. But also the organization stands to gain a lot. How? Imagine your employees speaking better, having more executive presence, learning how to deliver more helpful and insightful evaluations. The entire organization will be elevated. They will flourish. And so it is of great benefit to them. And what will this do for me? As a direct communicator, somebody with red collar energy, I believe that this project is going to help me also get better, become more patient, more understanding, and just help me build myself as a leader. There's a lot more to tell, but I haven't got much time. So I'd like to leave you with one quote. For every single person that is here, please take your Toastmasters journey very personally. There is a lot to gain from this, but also share with somebody. It can be what transforms their career or their business from where it is to where it needs to go. Remember, we all need to flourish. And as the American author James Keller said, a candle does not lose its flame by lighting another. Thank you most graciously, the Toastmaster of the day.
Please, let's put our hands together for her. Just we can do more. Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Fee, for that beautiful speech, and we wish you the very best in this journey. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please, if you have been enjoying yourself thus far, just wave your hands. Let me know if I can close now. Oh, okay. We will have to continue and get done with it. We have one final one from the prepared speeches segment, and this one, it's a very special one because this Toastmaster has gone through a very, very tedious process from level 1 all the way to level 5 in her pathways. And she has finished every project in it. Today, she's going to come back and reflect on her journey in her pathway completion speech. But before I invite her, I would like to call on her evaluator to tell us the purpose of her speech. Her evaluator for this special project is Toastmaster Igolo Aniebo. Toastmaster Igolo is someone who likes to dabble in different hobbies, such as reading, watching movies, or even gisting. She believes in modeling the three C's: calm, cool, and collected. And she is basically an engineer with a twist. She combines her technical reservoir engineering skills with the ability to connect, communicate, and collaborate effectively with others. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please to tell us the purpose of the last speaker's speech, Toastmaster Igolo Aniebo. Please put your hands together for her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Toastmasters and guests. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Please confirm that you can hear me and you can see me.
Yes, we can. Go on, please.
Awesome. So today we are going to be listening to Toastmaster Miriam, and she's going to be speaking on Reflect Your Path. The purpose of this speech is for her to reflect on her growth during the completion of the entire path that she has done, and also for her to share some aspect of her growth during the completion of said path. I would be looking out for the story and how this could be persuasive or humorous. And then, of course, I'll be back to give my evaluation at the end of the meeting. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Dear Toastmasters and guests, this speaker, Toastmaster Miriam, for those who have been with us for a long time, is one of our very, very committed leaders. Online, physically, she strives even when she doesn't stay here in the city with us. She is someone who, she is a supply chain professional, and she's currently working at an energy company. Her interests are music, traveling, and reading. She joined Seaside to improve her leadership, communication, and public speaking skills. Please let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Mariam. Okay.
Good afternoon, flourishing Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today, I am standing here before you to deliver this speech with gratitude, pride, and reflection as I celebrate the completion of my innovative planning pathway in Toastmasters International. This moment is special because it's not only about completing a learning path, it's about growth, it's about transformation, and it's also about discovering that success is rarely accidental. It is often planned, refined, and pursued with determination. When I first joined um, and I came with hopes and uncertainties. I wanted to be a better speaker. I wanted confidence. I wanted to communicate. I want to communicate my ideas clearly. But if I'm honest, I also wanted something deeper. I wanted to overcome the hesitation that often keeps people silent when they have something valuable to say. At that time, the idea of speaking for 10 to 12 minutes in front of an audience would have felt like climbing a mountain barefooted. Yet here we are today. When I selected the innovative planning path, I thought it would simply teach me how to organize tasks, manage projects. I expected calendars, checklists, timelines, and goals. I was partly right, but I discovered so much more valuable. I learned that planning is not only about schedules. Planning is about vision. It's also about seeing a better future and building a bridge towards it. Planning asks important questions such as, where are you now, Mariam? Where do you want to go? What obstacles appear? Who can help you? What must change within you? Those are the questions that I've asked and answered as a Toastmaster. Today, I would like to share some of the lessons that I've also known before now, but has become very concrete, like a foundation in my life. The first lesson is every great result begins small. So in life, you would see that people often admire polished speakers like Toastmaster John, successful leaders like Obama, confident professionals like the president Kudus. But what we see is the final performance. We don't see the preparation behind it. We don't see that a beautiful building begins with a sketch, an harvest begins with a seed, and a speech begins with an idea. My journey began with small steps. The first time I stood to speak in Seaside Toastmaster Club, when I was giving my icebreaker speech, my voice was not steady as I wanted. My hands had their own independent movements. My thoughts sometimes moved faster than my mouth. And I remember clearly at the end of the speech, I took a deep breath, and my evaluator for that speech was Toastmaster Francis, and he gave me an encouraging comment about it during my evaluation, telling me that with that deep breath, I can go forward. Toastmaster has given me rather something precious, a safe place where I can improve. In Toastmasters, I have, instead of receiving criticism, I received guidance. Instead of embarrassment, I received encouragement. Instead of fear, I received opportunity. And so, step by step, speech by speech, roll by roll, my confidence began to grow. Innovative planning reminded me that progress does not need to be dramatic. It only needs you to be consistent. So the second lesson that I'm going to be sharing today is that plans must be flexible. Like most people, I thought planning means predicting everything perfectly, but life disagree. My plan when I started innovative planning was to complete the pathway in a year, but here I am almost 4 years later completing that pathway. Sometimes when I'm giving speeches, the internet disappears exactly when I need it the most. Sometimes my microphone rather stopped working. Sometimes the venue of meetings or the venue of the halls changed. Sometimes my brilliant plan meets reality, and reality does not always cooperate with me. I learned that the strongest plans are not rigid, they are adaptable. There were projects I intended to complete quickly, and it took longer than expected, especially level 5 projects on high level performance. It took me about 2 years to complete. There were species I thought I would complete easily, but it demanded effort. There were times where work responsibilities and life schedules competed for my attention. But what did I do? I simply adjusted. I changed my timelines. I reprioritized my tasks, and I also asked for help. L- Lastly, I kept moving. And that is what innovative planning is all about. It's not about perfection, but intelligent adaptation. So the third lesson I'm going to share in today's meeting is that growth requires community. No one has ever completed a Toastmaster pathway alone. Behind every speeches I have given was an evaluator who offered insights. Behind every leader, behind every Toastmaster rather, is a mentor who shares wisdom. Behind every achievement, such as going for competition, is a club that created that particular opportunity. I wanted to acknowledge some of the people who have made my journey beautiful and meaningful. I'm going to start with my first mentor, Toastmaster Bolanle. She's no longer in an active Toastmaster. I want to say thank you. Thank you for mentoring me despite your busy schedule. And also Toastmaster Komiyo for encouraging me to give my icebreaker speech. And
practicing with me, I want to say thank you. Toastmaster Francis, thank you for always giving succinct and beautiful feedback. Toastmaster John, for your feedback and always being available offline anytime I needed you. Thank you to the immediate past president, Ibrahim, twice removed. He is my second mentor, and I've always believed in my potential to an extent that is encouraging. I would lastly say, President Kudus, you always inspire me. Thank you very much. I will probably still be stuck in level 5 if it wasn't for you. So because I cannot mention everybody that has helped me throughout this journey till date, I would like to say to all the people who have evaluated my speech, you spoke through with kindness, and I say thank you. To members who applauded every speech, I say thank you. Success wear many names, but success may wear one name, right? But it is built by many hands. So one of the greatest lessons of leadership that I have learned is that people grow faster where they are encouraged. And Seaside Toastmaster Club has been a place of encouragement for me. The fourth lesson I'm going to talk about this afternoon is that communication changes life. When people hear public speaking, they imagine only stages, microphone, formal speeches, and all that. But communication is much bigger and deeper than that. Communication is how you lead a team. It is how you resolve conflict. It is how you inspire people to action. It is how you comfort people in times of difficulty and grief. It is how you present ideas that can improve workplaces, families, and communities. Because of these parts, I have learned not to just speak longer, but to speak clearer and persuade people to action. I remember that when I gave my level 1 speech on researching and presenting, it was a speech on mirrors titled Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Toastmaster Ugona later gave me a feedback after the meeting that it was one of the things that convinced him to become a Toastmasters. And for that, I am grateful for the opportunity to at least inspire one person to action. Because of Toastmaster, I've learned to pause because of accounting. I've learned that a form of respect is speaking on time and not rambling on endlessly. I have learned to structure my ideas. I've learned to lead conversation rather than avoid them. And those skills matter beyond this meeting room. So the fifth lesson, the final lesson I'm going to share is that completion is not the end. Sometimes I treat milestones as finish lines, and I'm sure a couple of people do that too. But milestones are markers, they are not endings. So completing innovative planning today does not mean that my journey is over. It means that my foundation is stronger. There are new speeches to deliver, many new roles to perform, members to mentor, fears to overcome, new ideas to share, and learning is lifelong. Confidence is renewable. Leadership is also practiced daily. Today is not a closing ceremony. It is a commitment. So I have a message to everyone in the room. If you're new to Toastmasters and you're wondering whether you belong here, yes, you do. If you feel nervous every time you speak, keep standing. If progress feels slow, keep moving. If you think others are naturally gifted while you struggle, remember that skills is often practiced longer than it is praised. Every accomplished speaker once searched for words. Every confident leader once doubted themselves. My own personal commitment as I celebrate this completion is I will continue learning. I will continue serving. I will continue helping others grow. I will continue turning plans into possibility. So thank you everyone for listening to me. And finally, preparation matters, people matters, persistence rather matters. Thank you all for being part of my wonderful journey, and thank you for listening. May we all continue on the journey. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Please, let's keep clapping. Let's put our hands together more. Please, let's do more of that. If you are not a Toastmaster, you will not understand. Just to give you context, my first time at Toastmasters, where I did my icebreaker, was in 2022. Here I am, still in level 3 on the same pathway. It's not an easy thing to finish a pathway because a whole lot of things happen. You are mixing your work, your career, people get married, kids, and you still stay committed to your journey. That's an impressive one. Thank you for that reminder once again, dear Toastmaster Maria. Dear Toastmasters and guests, this is a time for us to bloom anyway, to flourish. And the theme of our meeting today is to bloom. If you are a guest, you will notice that people speak at different levels. Some seem like they are very good at speaking, while it seems that some are struggling. That is the story of Toastmasters. We all are on different journey, and the goal is not perfection, but to improve every day. That concludes the prepared speech segment for today. Please, let's put our hands together once again for all the speakers. Thank you very much. So we are moving quickly and we are running out of time, but this is a very important segment we are going into now. In Toastmasters, we call it table topics. What you have seen here is practice and excellence. But what you will see today is impromptu and it is open to everyone, especially guests. When the table topics master is here, please volunteer, come out and try, practice, and push yourself to do it. Don't worry, we don't bite people here. It is a supportive environment for members and guests to learn and grow. To lead us in this beautiful segment of the meeting is our table topics master. This person she is a graduate of social work from the prestigious University of Lagos. She considers herself a polymath as she finds joy in exploring various interests. She enjoys helping others and volunteering with NGOs that she is passionate about. Her hobbies are journaling, storytelling, watching Netflix, and creating lists. Her favorite quote is, "It is the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting." Please, let's make welcome to the virtual lecture, Toastmaster Kopo Worola Yagwe.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gona. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. I actually almost said good evening because my club meets in the evenings. So I am your table topics master for today. And before we start this session, I would just like to speak a little about the theme of today. A lot of times we feel like growth is something that should happen quickly, that should happen as soon as we want it. Unfortunately, life doesn't work the way it works in our head. So growth can be slow, it can follow a process, and that's what we're here to do today in this table topic session. We're here to grow in the moment. We're here to seize the opportunity and learn from the table topics portion. The table topics portion is an impromptu speaking segment. You'll get the chance to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I'll recall the timing rules. At 1 minute, you see the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, you see the yellow card. At 2 minutes, you see the red card. Now, when you see the red card, please don't rush off the stage. You have 30 seconds to complete your thoughts and your story. Before we proceed, here's a little guide to doing table topics, especially for guests. Ensure you have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Now, it's even more amazing if you can put a story in there somewhere. That will give you a well-rounded table topics. Do we understand this and can we go ahead? Amazing. So I would like a Toastmaster to volunteer. Can we have a volunteer, a Toastmaster volunteer for the table topics portion? Okay, Toastmaster Fee. I have questions here from 1 to 5, and You can just pick a number. Number 1. Nice. So the first question is, describe a time in your life when you felt like you were blooming late. What's changed? Describe a time in your life where you felt like you were blooming late. What's changed? Thank you most graciously, Madam Table Topics Mistress. It was Richard Marcinko, the US Navy SEAL, that said, "He who sweats more in training bleeds less in battle." And I have to say that that has been my story and my motto. I moved back to Lagos, Nigeria in 2012. I had just finished my master's and I was very excited to get a job. And I can be honest and transparent with you and tell you, at that point in time, most of my friends were working for great companies, oil companies, banks, and they were earning in excess of 300K, 300,000 naira, as we fondly say in Nigeria. Finally, I landed a job and I was excited. Couldn't wait to start earning the big bucks. But guess how much this company offered me? 60,000 naira. This was a tiny fraction of what my friends were earning. And so I literally felt behind. Exactly what you said was what was going through my mind. After the masters, 60K. But guess what? That was my training ground. If not for that company and that experience, I could not be the marketing director that I am today. So even though there was a delay, it was not a denial. It was training me for the person that I was going to become. So, Toastmasters and guests, what I want to tell you today is that delay is not denial. All right? And beyond that, every experience, every trial is a setup to get you to where you are going. So, do not despair, enjoy, and bask in those trials and delays. You're heading somewhere. Thank you. Adam, thank you very much, Toastmaster Fee. Now I would like to call another volunteer. Let's give her a round of applause. We have a few questions here. Okay. Do you believe everyone blooms at their own time? Why or why not? Do you believe everyone blooms at their own time? Why or why not? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do I believe everyone blooms at their own time? Why or why not? I think everyone blooms at their own time. Why? Because we all we all we all have different pathways to life. Our exposure, upbringing, and maybe personalities. So if I'm to say, everybody blooms at their own time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for rounding off before running off the stage. Now I'd like to take a volunteer in the online space, please. Toastmaster Austin, please can you unmute and pick a number?
All right, how many? What number is available right now?
We have number 2, number 3, and number 5.
Hit me with number 5.
Okay, number 5 is, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck in life? What advice would you give someone who feels stuck in life?
First of all, I'd like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity for speaking, if someone is stuck in life, the first thing I'll do is have a sincere conversation with them. Being stuck is not failure. I've realized that a lot of people do not take being stuck easily on themselves. So because of that, they go hard on themselves. Now, when I have a sincere conversation, what I'll be looking at is where exactly, what exactly, and why. And lastly, how they can get unstuck. Over the years, I've realized that the reason why many people feel stuck is a lack of decision. Let's take, for example, life continues to move. That's where the popular phrase, the popular quote comes from. Said, change is the only constant thing in life. So when anyone realizes that their lives are stuck, that's a sign that there is somewhere you are not making a decision. So identify where you are not deciding and move forward from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Austin. Can the timer confirm if we have time for one more question from this piece? Okay, can we have one more volunteer? Are you a guest or is Toastmaster? Can we take a guest, please? Guest? Okay.
We have someone online that volunteered earlier.
So we have this question.
3, please.
If setbacks are part of bullying, how should we respond to them? If setbacks are part of bullying, how should we respond to them?
So for the longest time, I have heard a quote that says, bloom where you are planted. To me, it meant given the hard work, do whatever it takes for you to get the results, and you will definitely flourish. Something happened to me personally. I had done everything by the books. I had contributed as much as I could. I had put in the hard work, the late nights. I had burnt the candles. But the result was not exactly what I really, really wanted, to be honest. It was a setback. I was quite disappointed. I was so disappointed, actually. It affected me, and I thought, how can I rise up from this occasion? Then I reflected again and I said, what does it take to actually bloom? What does it really take to flourish? I looked at the plants because I'm a plant lover. So I looked at the plants in my home and I realized that these plants, they have different requirements. They have different requirements to bloom. You need sunlight, you need water, you need to give attention to some of them, and some of them can thrive without all of this, like a desert plant. You don't need to feed it water every single time. Then I looked at the circumstance I was going through. I realized that the environment that I had put myself in was not encouraging. So it's not just about blooming where you are planted. You need to ensure that the environment that you have put yourself in will allow you to bloom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Timer, do we still have some time or? Okay, so we'll take one more person. Please ask me a round of applause as it comes here. Thank you very much. So we have just one question left. I'm going to go ahead and ask you. Have you ever compared your timeline to someone else's? What did that teach you? Have you ever compared your timeline to someone?
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy, they say, and it's easy to, take this to hearing, but not to art. And that happened to me. So I graduated class valedictorian of my secondary school set, and I got admitted to study law, right? But along the line, I dropped out in 400 level. My parents thought it was my village people. People thought I was stupid. I dropped out to focus on my marketing career. However, in as much as I felt I made the right decision, the prestige I left behind felt like I was making the wrong decision. And so I questioned myself, especially when my mates went to law school, when they got called to bar. I had the marketing career in startups, but I did not have the prestige that innately I desired. And also coming from a family of lawyers didn't help. It felt like I had betrayed my lineage, right? So I began I began to compare myself, but then I realized I have my journey. And one part to being successful is willing to look stupid, even when others think you're making the wrong decision. And right now it has paid off. I went back to school. I did not study law. I don't have the prestige, but I'm proud of my journey because it's uniquely mine and I have a story not many can share. So yeah.
Thank you very much to everyone who participated in table topics today. I really loved that we had a lot of volunteers from the online audience to guests to everyone that is sitting here today. Really appreciate that, and I'll hopefully see you at the next meeting. Thank you very much, and back to you, Toastmaster Ogona.
Let's put our hands together for Toastmaster KQ. Thank you very much, dear Toastmasters and guests. Are we having fun? Yes, so that's the most important thing. But there's one thing I want us to remember. It's that when we look at this season, in other countries, they call it spring. Here, it's the beginning of the raining season. But one thing is significant, the plant starts blooming again. But the interesting thing about the plants that bloom, they are the ones that withstood the winter and the harmattan. If they had died during winter or if they had died during harmattan, they wouldn't have had the chance to bloom in March and April. So it's a call to us. You might shed your leaves, you might go dry, the harmattan might be tough, but if we stay, the rain will come again. And that is the theme of our meeting. Regardless of the situation, we have to bloom anyway. And to keep us in that blooming glow, I will hand over to the person who will give us feedback on how well we have done in this meeting. This meeting is going to be carried forward by the general evaluator. Please let's welcome Toastmaster Yusuf Abenot.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bloom ahead, like the Toastmaster of the day rightly mentioned. If you think you have enjoyed this meeting over the last 2 hours, say congratulations to your neighbor. Thank you. You've just confirmed that you flourished for the last 2 hours, but it's time to offer some feedback to speakers and role players. It was a management consultant, Ken Blanchard, that says feedback is the breakfast of champions. With that said, I will start the evaluation by calling speech evaluators to please come forward and deliver evaluation for the speakers. Mind you, this meeting is supposed to last for 1 to 3. The time is fast spent. So I would like to encourage our evaluators to please do the evaluation perhaps between 1 to 2 minutes so that we can catch up with other appointments. So I will start from the evaluator of Toastmaster Grant Otis speech. He spoke from the persuasive influence path, and he was evaluated by Toastmaster GBK Oshodi. Please come to the next. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Grant, for that insightful speech. Play for keeps. It taught us that when you are flourishing in your career or your business, you should actually play for keeps, which is something which we do not recognize in Nigeria. It was very insightful and I learned a lot. Your speech had a beginning, it had an introduction, it had a body, and it had a conclusion. You gave us a takeaway that we should always play for keeps. And that way you have a more flourishing life towards your end of life, which is something which we don't tend to think about in this part of the country. I like your use of the stage. I saw that you went throughout the stage and you do not stick to one spot. However, I would have liked more of your hand gestures. I also like the fact that you actually acknowledge who you gave quotes from. Bruno Mali, you said. And you gave us a song. You gave us a song, I Want to Be a Billionaire, which was very relatable. So well done on that. But I would have liked you to actually reference Bruno Mars a bit better, i.e. an American songwriter who has attended a lot of Grammys, etc. Then we would be able to reference him and perhaps go and look up the song, I Want to Be a Billionaire. We all want to be a billionaire. So well done on your speech. And I look forward to evaluating your second speech and see if you had incorporated what I have said. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause to Toastmaster GBK for that fascinating evaluation. Mr. Toastmaster, please confirm, are we meant to vote for speakers and evaluator? Okay, we're good. So I would like to also encourage everyone to please, you can give your love notes to all our speakers. Apart from the evaluators, you can also let them know what you like about their speeches and where you want them to flourish more next time. Please endeavor to do that. I would like to invite Toastmaster Dara Lanley to come forward and provide evaluation of Toastmaster Fee to your speech. A round of applause to her.
So Toastmaster Fee Toyo, that was fantastic. Why do I say it was fantastic? Because this speech had objectives. And the first objective was show your skill as a public speaker and a leader. The second objective was to introduce your plan and vision. Now, you started off with a very powerful quote that to get the life that you love, you have to give. Your voice was soft when you needed to be soft. Your voice was loud and strategic when you wanted to make a point. But it wasn't just about your voice. What were you communicating to us? You talked about your time as a director in a multinational. You wanted to do better. How could you do better? By one thing. It might have been more, but you focused on one thing. And that related to your speech. That one thing was improving your public speaking, doing what you thought would give you an advantage. But then as you started developing your public speaking, you realize that this is a gem that is too good to be kept within you. And then you decided, I am going to pay it forward. And you talked us through the steps of paying it forward. I used three acronyms, PAY. Purpose, A, which I didn't catch, and yield, Y. And you broke it down. Core themes, speechcraft, having a sort of sensitization workshop so that people know what is the purpose of Toastmasters. And then having a club experiential meeting. It's one thing to stand before people and to talk about plans, but you gave us actionable plans, and you backed it up. The key example, your boss has joined, I believe, and he has started a pathway. So it wasn't just you coming up with ideas and they're not measurable. These things you mentioned were measurable. So I go back to what was the purpose of the speech? A plan, a vision, to demonstrate your leadership capacity. You have been working with the division. If that doesn't show leadership, then I don't know what does. 1 or 2 recommendations. When the timekeeper was indicating that the time was reducing, you acknowledged it. You didn't need to acknowledge it. It should just be for you internally. You referred to red color energy. I had to Google what that is. It might have been obvious, but I had to Google what that was. Finally, the acronyms were so powerful that they deserved a recap at the end, because I didn't catch A. But it would have been very helpful for you to recap it, and then I would have known what A was. But you blew the objectives of the speech out of the water. I didn't expect anything less. I mean, like Toastmaster Oguna said, I've been a Toastmaster since 2009, and I know I am not a distinguished Toastmaster. It's not easy, and you have done an exceptional job. And I knew that that was what I was going to hear. So well done. Thank you so much.
Remember, I told you evaluators are not judges. They are masterpieces in progress. A round of applause once again to Toastmaster Dara Lanley. I will move on very quickly to Toastmaster Equal SN, who evaluated Toastmaster Austin, who says speech. Toastmaster Uko, please take us through the evaluation. Thank you. A round of applause to her.
Thank you very much. It's pronounced equal. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm back again. Look beyond the fruits and examine the roots. I will always remember Toastmaster. I'll always remember Toastmaster Austin, wherever I hear that or whenever I have to reference that to anyone. That is a very strong tool to strengthen your point. Your visual was clear, your volume was even clearer. Your introduction on jungle justice was very emotional for me because this is something that is very it's triggering. And it also I'm sure everybody felt the same. However, I wish you gave us a broader view to express your body language and add more actions to everything you were saying. And that would have really given us that visual image of the picture of the society that you're trying to paint. And for a title as strong as yours, we needed more details, more statistics to back up your 3 points. I mean, the world today, even the rich people are talking about poverty. So that would have really, everybody was into whatever you were saying, your speech. I mean, more details would have really done it for us, but I guess our speaker has some other things to do. However, Toastmaster Austin, I was there when you gave your icebreaker, even though I didn't evaluate you. I dare say that you've improved in your speech structure and you've also improved in your presentation. Keep speaking, and I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Uko. So we'll move on very quickly to the evaluation of Toastmaster Miriam Oke's speech. Someone will remember every single thing that happened over the course of the 5 3 to 5 years period of completing project 1 to 5. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Igolo, and Nibo to please help with Toastmaster Miriam Oke's speech. Toastmaster Igolo. A round of applause to her, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, General Evaluator. Please, can we give Toastmaster Miriam a round of applause, not only for such a wonderful speech, but also to get into level 5, which I'm still yet to get to. So yes, I think I shall call you for some tips. The purpose of your project was for you to reflect on your growth and share some aspects of your said growth. And I think that you did that beautifully. First off, you started off by stating what pathway you were on, which was key in case we missed it or when the Toastmaster of the day was introducing your speech title and all of that. And it kind of paints a picture. So the idea, when you hear the name, like you said, that you thought it was going to be building project lists and doing calendars and all of that, also kind of adds bluster to it based on the fact that you're giving us the name of the pathway. What do I think? What do I love about what you did? You gave us 5 lessons that you learned, and not just 5 surface lessons. You gave us key examples. For example, the first one you said that everyone admires the final product, and you gave us examples such as Toastmaster John, Toastmaster Kudos, and even President Obama. This is very key. We always see the finished work, but we never see the work that goes on behind the scenes. And the 5 examples, you used your body language to further express what it was you were trying to say. When you said you were building bridges in your speech, when you also were counting down the numbers of the people that helped you, both your evaluators, your mentors, and even the presidents that you have had in Seaside Toastmasters Club. What do I think you could have done better? I would have preferred if you stood up because you had such a lovely space behind you that would have given us more, well, I call it opening into your space, yes. Because sitting down almost looked like it was a presentation, but when you stand up and you use more of your background, you tend to give us that feeling like as if we're in the same room with you or you're in the same room with us. And then a bit of vocal variety, because there's some places where you could have said, oh, maybe when you gave your icebreaker, your voice was shaking. If it was possible for you to actually shake your voice, that would have been so beautiful and so apt. But overall, I think you've achieved the aim of this project and you have told us your growth, you have showed us your growth. And I want to say congratulations to you once again for completing your level 5. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Igolo. A round of applause to her once again. So we've come to the end of the speech evaluation. I would like to segue very quickly to invite once again back to the virtual lectern Toastmaster Miriam, who is going to give us the evaluation of the table topics session. Toastmaster Miriam, good luck. Please, round of applause to Toastmaster Miriam.
Thank you. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, good afternoon, flourishing Toastmasters and our distinguished guests. Please, can we have the timer help me with the time of the speakers for table topics? I don't know if you can tell me the time, so because it will help in evaluating this segment. Thank you very much.
All right, can you hear me, please? Indicate if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so for Toastmaster Fee, she had
Yeah, I can.
2 minutes. Yeah, she did 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Toastmaster Unwa Duso, she had 38 seconds. Toastmaster Austin had 1 minute, 44 seconds. Toastmaster Damelola had 1 minute, 31 seconds. Then there was a guy, sorry, we didn't get your name. Jeremiah had 1 minute, 2 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timer, for that. So we would quickly segue back to the evaluation of the table topics segments. Good afternoon once again, honored guests, Toastmasters, and every brave soul who discovered that table topics actually means public speaking without warning. So first thing I would like to do is commend the table topic master, and that is Toastmaster Kuforola Jagun, for serving as the table topics master for today's meeting. The purpose and the rules were explained clearly, which helped both the guests and the members to understand what to expect. And I believe that a well-explained process creates comfort, especially for first-time participants. So secondly, what you did really well is that the choice of topic was relevant and thoughtful, and it was in line with the theme of today's meeting. So it made the session really engaging. The questions were creative and was broad enough to allow speakers with different experiences respond confidently. And I believe that's the mark of a strong table topic, a topic that invites participation rather than creates panic, or at least not too much panic anyways. So one area of improvement is that I would suggest that you introduce the speakers, you ask them for their name rather, because for like I think the fifth, some of the people, I didn't catch their name. And I also did not catch the question you were asking them because your voices was fluctuating. So I don't know if it's an audio issue or not. So please, for next time you're playing in the role, please speak up so that we can hear you, and also ask the people volunteering to speak to tell us their name before you ask them the question. So now I will move on to the speakers that demonstrated courage, creativity, and impressive ability to invent ideas faster than most people can find their car keys. So the first person I'm going to talk about is Toastmaster Dara Lanley. Is that, I don't think that's correct. Sorry, let me check. Yes, Dara Lanley. So you spoke confidently. It was obvious that you were a seasoned Toastmaster. I like the fact that you had stage presence and you were not rambling when you were speaking. Your question was, describe a time in your life where you were blooming late, and you said something that really stood out with me, to me rather. You said, he who sweats more in training sweat less in battle. I think that is a really catchy sentence that made people pay more attention to you while you were speaking. Honestly, if I want to give you a recommendation, it would be maybe probably infuse the speech with the word of the day rather. So the second person, I didn't catch her name. The question was, do you believe everyone bloom at their own time, and why not? So first of all, I would say thank you for volunteering to speak in table topics, because table topics can be daunting depending on how you look at it, right? But I believe that you spoke for 38 seconds, so you spoke less than you should. So in case of next time you find yourself in an environment where you are supposed to speak without what do I call it, without you knowing what you're going to say ahead of time, the first thing you can do is probably repeat the question. Then after, if you ask the table topic master in this case to repeat the question so that it will give you more time to think of what you say. Then you can also tell us a story of why you believe, because you went with why, right? Why you believe everyone bloom at their own time. It can be your own story. It can be a story of somebody that has really touched you and made you reflect on life. So please, whenever you get the opportunity to speak or to volunteer, please take it and go with it. So the third person is Toastmaster Austin, and that will be, your question was, what advice will you give someone who feels stuck in life? So you had sufficient body movement. Again, thank you for volunteering. You were online and you were one of the two people who volunteered online, right? So you had eye contact. You said the reason why you believe that most people are stuck in life is because they lacked proper decision making process, which I think that was really good. So one area of encouragement would be that you gave us a quote, and the quote is, change is the only constant thing in life, but you didn't tell us where the quote is from, whether you're the one that came up with that quote, whether it was Abraham Lincoln, whether it was Seneca, we did not know. So next time you can just tell us, oh, there's a quote that says change is the only constant in life, and this quote is by Miriam Oke, who is a supply chain practitioner. So that way it gives more credibility to whatever it is you're saying. So the fourth speaker, I did not catch your question, but if I have to guess, I would say your question is, what does it mean? What does it take to bloom? Because you had sufficient body movements, you were confident, your content was engaging, and I would say keep it up. The fifth person, I later found out your name is Jeremiah. I don't know if you're a Toastmaster or not. And I also did not catch your question, but if I had to guess, your question will be, have you ever compared yourself to someone? And you gave us a perfect life scenario of you dropping out of law school in the university at 400 level, how comparison is a thief of joy, how you felt like you betrayed your family. I feel like the question was I wouldn't say easy for you to respond to, but because you have lived through it, you were confident enough to talk about it. So I believe you also spoke for 1 minute, which is also still commendable. So thank you everyone for participating in today's table topic. I'm going to leave us with one last thing, and that's for Seaside. Please, when it's an hybrid meeting, let somebody online take note of the people who are interested in table topics, because I believe there was somebody online that indicated that they wanted to speak while the table topic master was looking for somebody in the room to speak. So thank you all. And that is the end of my evaluation. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Wow, that was magnificent. If you want to flourish in evaluation, just like Toastmaster Miriam, okay, please complete your path. She has almost completed the innovative planning path. So I will encourage you to do the same so that you can deliver with eloquence and panache. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on very quickly. I would like to invite my team members to please come forward one after the other to deliver their report. I would like to encourage them to do it in 1 minute so that we can be out of here. The first role player I would like to invite. Okay, Mr. Timer, are we good with time? Obviously, we are not good. Okay. Do you want to quickly provide timing report for just the evaluators? All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. A round of applause to the timer. I would like to invite our counter to please come forward and deliver a report. Please give it up to Toastmaster Nwadisu Nwagbo. Did I get it? Please thank God.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Okay, as the accountant for today, my role was to listen out for filler words and overused words. So I would say that all the speakers made a good effort to minimize filler words and use pauses where necessary. However, I noticed some moments from some of the speakers, and here is my report. So for first speaker evaluator, that's Toastmaster Ikoro SN, she made use of once and also made use of just once. Then the first speaker, Toastmaster Austin, we had issues with his audio. However, he made proper use of his pauses, or he only used just one time. Then for the second speaker, TM Grant OT used one time and repeated the word and in one phrase, in one sentence. So that's all. And for the fourth speaker, TM Marian, okay, he made use of 3 times. And our table topic master, TM Kofo, made use of filler words twice. Then me as a accountant, I made use of like 2 times. Thank you.
It is only in Toastmasters that you evaluate others and you also evaluate yourself. A round of applause to the accountant. And what we say to them is that, what do we say to the don't do it again? Now I would like to call on maybe the most important person in the room, the grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Damilola Lawa. Please come forward.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm sure we all remember the word for today, flourish. Thank you. So I took the count, and the speakers, they used the word flourish 5 times. I know I've used twice now. Okay, 5 times. So Toastmaster Austin used it once. Toastmaster, ignore my please. Finn used it 4 times. And the rest of the Toastmasters, I didn't pick them using flourish, but other people that came up to speak as well and evaluate, they also used the word flourish. So I had a total of 9. So in the room, we all used the word flourish 14 times. In terms of some of the most, it was Toastmaster Finn. She really used the word flourish. I caught some of the quotes that the Toastmaster used, the speakers for today. One that really caught my attention is, a candle does not lose its flame by lighting another. That was very, very, very relatable. And that's an encouragement to everyone to say that you're inspiring someone or helping someone grow. It doesn't take anything away from you. Thank you.
Thank you, grammarian, for making it brief and swift. I will now run through my evaluation. We started today's meeting at 1:06. We were meant to start by 1 p.m., so we started a bit late. I would like to encourage the planners to please ensure that the meeting starts on time. I want to commend the Vice President Education and his team for putting together some of the best role players that I have seen in Seaside Toastmasters Club. You agree with me that everybody delivers his or her role with some professionalism, diligence, and competence. I would like to give a round of applause to all our role players. In fact, some of our role players, for instance, Toastmaster Dara delivered a role to the extent that the table topics master mistake her for the first speaker because She spoke with so much eloquence and panache. So I would also like to commend the planners for ensuring that, the setup was brilliantly done. We have very good participation from the online audience. And the reason why that could happen was the fact that we didn't experience tech glitches. Even though maybe at the beginning we couldn't hear the first speaker, the first prepared speech speaker, but we were able to quickly resolve that. So I want to commend the team. The voices were clear. The reception was great. And I really enjoy the fact that we are able to sort of integrate the online participants as well as the physical audience. Well done to the team. I would like to also commend the quality of the speeches. I pretty much enjoyed every bit of it. The speakers took time to really prepare and deliver with a lot of eloquence. I want to commend all our speakers. They should continue to flourish. I would like to also recognize our online participants. We started with about 17 people online, and the number grew to 19, and the 19 has been there since it got to that level. We didn't see anyone leaving. That is really, really commendable. Well done for participating. If we combine the online participants together with the live audience, I think we make up about more than 35 at this meeting. That was a very good attendance. Well done, everyone. In terms of what we could have done much better, I've mentioned the issue of timing. I think we can do better. We should have started by 1 p.m., even if we have just 2 or 3 people. And then time management, we didn't do really well because this meeting is supposed to end by 3 p.m. So this is almost 3:30 and we didn't do very well. My recommendation is that if we have 5 speakers, especially when we have someone who is meant to be speaking for 10 to 15 minutes, we should have cut off the table topics or limit the number of speakers to just 3 so that we can accommodate that long speech. So I think that was where we missed it. But it was a brilliant session. It was a great prepared speech, but I would recommend that we should limit the number of speakers if we are going to combine, if we are going to do table topics as well. I also like to just once again commend all our evaluators, but I would like to recommend to the evaluator of Toastmaster Austin, who said speech, Toastmaster Equal. When you are being called upon to introduce Toastmaster Austin, you forgot to tell us the purpose of the speech. You are meant to introduce the speech to us, tell us the path he's speaking from, engaging humor, and you are meant to tell us about the project 2, level 1, and then tell us the speech title and tell us the objective. But Mr. Toastmaster of the Day came into your rescue by telling us the speech objective. So I would just encourage you to take note of that going forward. I would also like to encourage our table topics evaluator to please ensure that if you don't get the names of the speakers or the participants in the evaluation segment, you can reach out to the Zoom master. I suspect it is the president, so that you can get the names before the evaluation, because Toastmaster Dara didn't participate in the table topics, but she received an evaluation for table topics. So I would just encourage you to reach out to meeting participants to get the names before you deliver your evaluation. I think in all the meeting was well organized. The table topics session, I must commend the table topics master. She delivered with a lot of professionalism. She really displayed the fact that she has done this for quite a while. And I particularly like the fact that she gave the opportunity to the audience to participate, allowing you to volunteer yourself to participate in the table topics, giving everybody. And she also started by explaining what table topics was all about, which sort of assuaged the fear that many of us may have in participating in that session. And I also like the fact that she called an experienced Toastmaster first and then gave the opportunity to the rest of the audience. Well, what I would recommend next time was that she disturbed my role players. Two of my role players have to participate in the table topic session, and I can see a number of guests sitting at the left side of the room and willing to participate. I mean, I can see many of them. I was expecting that she was going to extend the invitation to some of them. I mean, what they couldn't participate, but it was a brilliant session. Well done to our table topics master. In all, I would like to commend every role player, every speaker for a beautiful meeting. I would like to say we've seen voices rise, we've seen confidence elevated. There is a popular saying that it is not what happened in the room that matters. It is what happened when you get out of this room. I would like to encourage you to please go out there and continue to flourish. Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Please, let's put our hands together for him more. That is what we do at Toastmasters, and for such feedback, it's what ensures that we continue to improve the quality of our meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. Dear Toastmasters and guests, Frank Herbert, an American author, said that there is no real ending. It is just the place where we choose to stop the story. And for me today, I choose to stop the story now, and we'll continue, and we encourage you all to always make it a time with us. To conclude this meeting, and before I call on the president, is to just say my apologies that this meeting, as the anchor, I should end this meeting at 3 o'clock, but we will get somewhere to 3:30. I hope we are forgiven. To conclude today, it's our president, Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo. Toastmaster Kudus.
Just like when I was introducing the beginning of the meeting, many of us did not want to clap. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate every one of us who has stayed till the end of today's meeting, even though we ended a little bit late. We are really sorry about that. Thank you so much, everyone. I want to especially appreciate the guests for finding the time to sit with us today. And I want to believe that you've enjoyed your time here. If you've enjoyed your time, please raise your hand. Thank you so much. Please, guests, you can stay behind after the meeting. Toastmaster Grant, our Vice President membership, would like to have a talk with you and tell you what Toastmasters is about and how to join. I want to especially appreciate our visiting Toastmasters, especially our general evaluator. He's a legend in Toastmaster. For those who have been here for a while, will know him. You will know how much he has impacted in all of us. Thank you so much for continuing to impact in us. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Daya. Thank you so much, Toastmaster KQ from Suede Toastmasters. We have some new members in our midst today. 3 of them here in person and 1 of them online. And one thing is, when I saw the agenda, I called the Vice President of Education. I said, our 3 new members are all playing roles. which magic did you use? Thank you so much, and I really salute your courage for coming out here to play a role in your first meeting as Toastmasters. Please don't give a round of applause. For those who don't know the new members, Toastmaster Nwadiso Nwagbo, Toastmaster Damilola Lawal, and Toastmaster Emmanuel Olubaode. We also have Toastmaster Ibukolu Agbomigbade online. We'll be having our membership induction for these new Toastmasters. Another Toastmasters who have joined us since October when we had our last membership induction. We're having the membership induction in our next meeting on May 2nd here at Eco Hotels. It's your opportunity to join this cohort of new Toastmasters and begin your journey. So if you want to join, you can meet our Vice President membership, Toastmaster Grant. He will be willing to onboard you as he had done every other person that has joined us to grow. I want to especially celebrate Seaside Toastmasters. We have achieved the prestigious President Distinguished Award. In Toastmasters, we have the Distinguished Club Program. 10 goals have to be met. These goals symbolizes that your members are actually meeting their goals. Their educational goals, their membership goals, and their administrative goals. We met all 10 goals. And this tells us that Seaside remains a place where our member blooms. We will not stop there. We are going for the Smartly Distinguished Award. And what we need to be smartly distinguished is that those of you that have not renewed, you may bloom late, but you will still remain beautiful. And we look forward to seeing you renew and continue your journey here at Seaside. And those of us who have not joined also, please, it's your time to become a member. Our next meeting will be hybrid. We'll hold here at the hotel on May 2nd. We look forward to seeing all of us attend this meeting. As I said, guests, please wait behind. The Vice President membership would like to have a talk with us. Those of us online, please also wait behind. Toastmaster Miriam will also like to have a talk with us and tell us about Toastmasters and how to join. Toastmasters and guests, we have come to the end of today's meeting. But as we leave here today, let us remember that time when you may feel, oh, time is going. Oh, I'm not at the same position that I may meet her. Oh, I can't speak as well as Toastmaster Yusuf Akpena. Toastmaster Yusuf Akpena did not just start today. The hard work he has put into it is what you can see today. We need to continue to grind and know that we should just bloom anyway. Thank you for coming. We have a cake and we would like to take pictures. Thank you very much.
By the way, let's go.
Thank you very much. Please, let's take pictures. Okay.
If you're a guest online, please indicate by raising up your hand. My name is Mariam Adesola Oke.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Online participants. Okay, I can see the first hand I can see is Mabel or I don't know. I don't want to murder your surname. But before we start, let me try and give a brief description of what Toastmaster is, so we can continue from there.
You was one that pushed me to like this is my first time ever.
So Toastmaster International is a public speaking and leadership platform where people can come and learn about public speaking. So it's a non-profit educational organizational a non-profit and it's the aim is to help individuals improve their communication and public speaking and leadership skill. It was founded in 1924 by Ralph C. Smedley in Santa Ana, California. So the key features is we have club structures, and you're in one of the clubs today. That's the Seaside Toastmasters Club. And meetings are either held weekly or bi-weekly, and members usually take on roles such as speaker, evaluators, or timer to ensure that everyone gets involved. So I'm sure you've seen that being demonstrated in the meeting that is about to end. So another thing that makes Toastmaster unique is that they have something called educational programs. So the educational programs are also called pathways. So we have about 11 pathways. So I had the privilege to complete one of the 11 pathways today, and that's innovative planning pathway. We have other pathways like presentation mastery, know your sense of humor, leadership, dynamic leadership, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in joining, this is one of the things you can benefit from being a Toastmasters. So another thing is you get to practice speaking, and as members, you give impromptu speeches like such as table topics or prepared speeches where you get to prepare ahead of time. Then you come to the meeting to deliver your prepared speech. Another thing is leadership development. You learn how to work with others, and the type of leadership you learn in Toastmasters is quite different from what you see in the workplace, because in the workplace your work is generally tied to an appraiser, is tied to you showing up. But in Toastmasters, it's more than showing up. It's the ability to make sure you can influence people to do something that is not that you cannot equate to money, or there's no direct monetary value to it. So you can see that a lot of people have paid to become members of Seaside, yet they show up to play the role of timer, be general evaluator, and we don't pay them to play those roles. But what they will get while they were playing those roles is that they get to know how to lead, how to organize meetings, how to reach out to people to play roles, and so forth. So on and so forth. Apologies for that. Lastly, what I would like to talk about is if you join Toastmasters, you get to enter competitions where we have international speech contests, we have table topics contests, and we have tall taste or context, and so on and so forth. So Toastmaster is open to all individuals with all from various backgrounds, and the mission is to empower people to develop confidence and skills that will benefit themselves and the society at large. So we would like to get feedback from the guests, remaining guests on the call today. So I can see that 2 people have their hands raised. So I'm assuming those are the guests on the call today. But please, if you're a guest and your hand is not raised, please kindly raise up your hand. We would love to hear from you. So I will start with guest Mabel. I believe you're an intending Toastmaster. So what have you, in today's meeting, what have you learned differently? What is your take home from today's meeting? So over to you, Toastmaster, intending Toastmaster Mabel.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that prophecy. Saying Toastmaster Mabel before me, I think that is something that will happen in real time and as soon as. One thing that I would say I picked from the session would be the fact that a lot of people had opportunities to speak. And that is good. So it wasn't like one person running the show from start to finish. We have a lot of people who were playing different roles, and I like the inclusivity of that of the program. Aside that, I was also quite impressed by the presentations, especially the ones that were impromptu. I know when people have to prepare for speeches, they're a lot better, I would say, but having people to just stand up on their feet and then they're speaking on the topic that they're given is interesting. And I like to do better on that because a lot of things I do requires speaking, talking, influencing. And it's beautiful to see that there's a pathway, various pathways, and there's a community around that. So this is something that I love, I've learned, and I would like to be part of. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that response, Toastmaster Mabel. Yes, I'm prophesying. Very soon you'll become a Toastmasters, and you will enjoy the full benefits of what Toastmaster has to offer, as long as you keep showing up. So thank you for joining today's meeting. The next person, please, before you go, I don't know if you can drop your details with me privately. Just me, don't send it to so that's your name, email address, and phone number, so that somebody from Seaside can reach out to you after this meeting, if that is okay with you. Yes, thank you very much. So the next person I'm going to call is intending Toastmaster Tito Lola Ayewa. So over to you, Toastmaster Titilayo.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Miriam. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be on this show today. It's my first time. I just heard about it yesterday, and I'm so very excited to be here. And I'm so very impressed by all the activities, and what I am taking home is that public speaking builds a lot of confidence for you, especially when you are in a meeting or you're in a